Some of the things like those sports teams that you had talked about, they've published research showing that using things like HRV data and other markers, you can predict injuries up to 6 months in advance in athletes. And
Like what markers allow that? That's
so heart rate variability was the key marker in that study.
really.
And it's not intuitive, right? Because you think like, how is your heart rate associated with like straining your Achilles tendon or something? But essentially, what it comes down to is the management of stress and recovery in the body. So, exercise and sports are obviously very stressful in the body. You have what's called this stimulus to fatigue ratio and this maximum recoverable stimulus. And so, these are just kind of jargony terms for saying like when you do stuff, you have to recover. And if over time, what happens is you can kind of you can get by with like barely under recovering in the short term. In fact, there's a term in exercise science called functional overreaching, which all of us do in our day-to-day lives. But at some point, you have to pay the bills and you have to recover more fully.
Mhm.
Otherwise, that leads to injury or a chronic health condition, basically. And so things like HRV are a very systemic look at how well is the nervous system balancing stress and recovery. And over longitudinal data, this is the beauty of kind of, and at the heart of your question a little bit, is when you can track this data longitudinally, it unlocks more predictive value versus just doing point in time measurements like once in a while, right?
And Jason, when you say unlock predictive value with it,
Mhm.
to me, what I start to think of, are you using artificial intelligence or using algorithms? Because, I'm not thinking you have someone sitting there with an Excel spreadsheet looking at these numbers. It's more like the algorithms can figure out and say, put these numbers together in a way and say, okay, this is, the human mind can't do this, but the machine can actually figure out this combination of numbers is going to lead to this sort of situation, this problem way ahead of time. Is that how you're using the science?
Correct.